What is up, everybody? It is Monday, March 19th, and we are here for, as always, the Monday Night Raw review. So what did we learn tonight, guys? Did Brock Lesnar show up? Who will face Alexa Bliss at Mania? And who got deleted? This and more after the intro. Welcome back, T.O.P family. God, it's good to be back. A real quick shout out to my man, Mr. Mean Dean. You're doing great work over there with the A through Z's. Once again, guys, go ahead and give them a listen. That's actually how I spend my Saturdays. I just go ahead and just let them play, man. I'll tell you, some of them just take me back to nostalgia moments. I'm just reminiscing and feeling like a little child again. So my brother, mad props on that. Also, a shout out to the T.O.P family. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. Shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you guys for giving us a listen and a follow. While you're here looking at this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow us on Twitter at ClickPod. Also follow me individually at TheLegend958. Don't forget to check us out on Podomatic, iTunes. If you want, take a glance at our Patreon page. Your boys just made it onto Stitcher, so that's super exciting. Another platform for us to get out there. So, as we always say, guys, we're making a lot of big moves here. So, a lot of exciting things happening now, and still a lot more excitement to come. But I digress. We are here to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. So, show kicks off tonight with Kurt Angle coming down to the ring. Kurt Angle talks about how Roman is still suspended. He wants to address the Braun winning the tag match last week. Shout out to Braun. Amazing performance. They dominate through everyone. So during this point, we get a surprise entrance from the man who's supposed to be suspended, Roman Reigns. Comes through the crowd. While I'm watching this, guys, it didn't do a lot for me, and the reason was it was so predictable. As soon as he said he was still suspended, I knew he was going to come through the crowd at some point. Now, the unique part was they did it at the beginning of the show instead of at the end. I honestly thought they were setting up more for the end. We'll talk about that obviously later as we get further and further down the line. But I don't know, it was something about it. It was so predictable. Obviously, you guys already know how I feel with Roman. I think they're just trying to push, trying so hard to get him over. And I mean, if you really heard the crowd's reaction to Roman and Brock tonight, Brock is so much further over, but this really didn't do anything for the storyline. So Roman comes down, gets in the ring, says he's the whole spiel about, oh, Brock's not going to be here again. Somebody has to be here to represent the WWE main event at Mania. Just a whole bunch of nonsense. And then obviously the same thing we always see in these situations. He goes ahead and announces that he's not going to leave the ring until he sees Brock face to face. At this point, Kurt's trying to talk some sense into Roman. Roman's not listening, being hard-headed. Kurt leaves the ring. He's had enough. Kurt starts walking away, goes to the bag, gets U.S. Marshals, comes out. They throw the cuffs on Roman. One of them's laying hands on Roman as they're escorting him out. Roman kind of backs up, does the don't touch me thing. And then, of course, the guy lays hands on him again. Roman loses his mind, beats down the U.S. Marshals. At this point, your boy finally gets a little bit excited as Brock's music hits. Brock comes down. Roman tries to grab a chair, swings, misses, gets a suplex, and Brock absolutely destroys Roman at this part. Utter annihilation. I mean, multiple chair shots, and then you can even see as he's laying those chair shots, he's cracking Roman, but you can see he's catching Roman on the hands, things like that. I seen a picture a little later in the night. They said it was Roman's hand. If it really was, I mean, that thing was tore up. So after Brock completely destroys Roman, and I mean absolutely completely destroys him, he leaves the ring, starts walking away, comes back down, does him a little bit more, starts walking away again, gets to the back. Cut to commercial, come back from commercial, Roman's getting placed out on the stretcher. At this point, I already know what's happened next. He starts rolling him up the thing. Brock's music hit. Brock comes down and destroys Roman once again while he's in stretcher. This really did nothing going forward towards Mania. You're not going to hype me anymore. This isn't what I want to see. I mean, this is being forced down our throats. To the Roman supporters out there, I want you guys to go ahead, and I challenge you guys right now. In the comment section, go ahead and just leave me 3 reasons apiece why you think Roman is the man of men. He's going to be the next John Cena going forward, and why he deserves this opportunity at WrestleMania. You really just let me know. You let me know even just how he's over in any type of way, because he's not. And you can hear the fan reaction tonight. They were more happy that Roman got beat down than that he didn't. At some point, you can hear the fans screaming, "You deserve it," to Roman, that he deserved to get beat down. So, I mean, you're obviously not listening to your audience. So, when you're not listening to your audience, we're giving you pushback, but all you want to do is keep pushing. Where's this going to get you? In all actuality, it's going to be a wasted main event Mania. But we'll talk about that as we get further, because we are still 3 weeks away. And while I'm talking about Mania, don't forget to check out the T.O.P Live Mania show on YouTube, noon Eastern, so that would be 2 p.m. or sorry, noon Mountain Time. That'd be 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Western time, West Coast time. On a little bit of a brain fart, but back on track. As I was saying before, this segment really didn't do anything. You're continuing to push the same old agenda. It's just stubborn Vince. We're not going to get past it, and we just have to live with it. So at least there are other things we have to look forward to. But as far as for the show opening this way, I understand what you were going for. It was just so predictable and laughable. It wasn't exciting. It didn't do anything to get Roman over. He's still in the same position. As I'm going through Twitter, and yes, your boy has been trying to stay up on the social feed a little bit more. I know it's still not that great, but I promise you we will get a lot better at this. As I'm trying to stay on there through Raw, I'm just reading comment after comment of how this is just pretty much a joke. Shout out to @JDMNY206. Obviously, you guys know I love him. He is the best wrestling YouTuber out there next to your boys. He's a little better than your boys. Actually, a lot better. He is #1, but your boys are a solid 2 right behind him. But I'm watching people attack him like he's which he doesn't like Roman. Don't get me wrong. He's a Roman hater, man. We want Roman off our TV. But at the same time, I'm watching people try to attack him, trying to defend Roman. And it's like, what are you defending? And I'm explaining to a friend that I'm actually watching it with. They're like, hey, so why do you hate this guy? And I give them the reasons. Okay, so not an organic push. That's #1. That's just a no-no to me, man. Your best and greatest superstars are going to be the ones who get an organic push. Right now, that's not it. Right now, you're looking at organic pushes. Your Seth Rollins, your Finn Balor's, your freaking, obviously, your AJ Styles, your Shinsuke Nakamura's, your Sami Zayn's, man. I mean, on the heel aspect, I mean, there's a lot of good things going on. You have a lot of superstars. This man does not deserve this position. So that's the first off. Second, his moveset, man. You got to get more of a moveset. I don't want to see 6 Superman punches and you win. Like, get out of here, man. Some Superman punches, some spears, like that is not what makes a wrestler. Also, you're bland on the mic, man. When you don't have the charisma to go on top of that, the fans are gonna know, and they're not gonna accept you. The difference that will always be between Roman and Cena, it's extremely simple. Even though Cena had a very simple move set, you guys know how I feel about Cena, even though now I give him a lot more because you could see he's still growing as a wrestler. Even though he's closer to retirement than in his prime, he is still growing as a wrestler. But the difference is Cena's charisma is phenomenal. When that man touches a microphone, whether I like promo that he's cutting or not, it's usually fire. This man could touch an audience, touch a crowd. There's a reason why you hear the fans chant, Cena sucks, or, John sucks. Just all the suck chants. At this point, it's more of an admiration thing. I mean, that boy, he shows up for the biggest matches. And that man, you want to see a match regardless. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as we get towards John Cena's segment in the show. So, spoiler, wait around because you will hear more about this segment, obviously. So at this point, we cut to commercial, come back after the total destruction. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James come down to the ring, start talking about, they show highlights from last week of them back in the locker room and how they're talking trash. Alexa starts off beautifully. I actually thought this was a pretty good segment for me tonight. It didn't really do a lot for me towards what the build is and what they're getting towards getting ready for towards Mania. But I did like the way it was worked. Obviously, I don't like the fat shaming, the bullying. I don't like those tactics. Dealing with what we're dealing with right now. But at the same time being said, Alexa starts coming out with no, I was mistaken. You guys don't understand. She's my bestie. Trying to go along to recover the relationship with Nia Jax. But she twists it, and then she starts talking about how she actually was truthful. She didn't lie about anything. She used Nia. I think she even stated in there that she cut some weight off her back. I'm never going to talk about a woman's weight. And Nia is absolutely gorgeous, so I will never disrespect that woman. And I don't want to get my butt kicked as well. So that's the trifecta. But I was enjoying this part for a little bit. The only thing that was really getting to me at this point is we had started out with the show. Started out with a whole bunch of talking, then just a brutalization, and then we get more talking before we even get our first match of the night. So, I mean, this was kind of getting to me at this point. But I already knew it was coming. Obviously, we had already set it up last week. It's going to be the Asuka-Alexa Bliss match. I read somewhere online that it said Alexa looks strong in her match tonight. That's not how I felt at all watching this. Once again, shout out to JD from NY206. JD from NY206 is amazing. You can catch that man on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter. He don't need me to promote him, but you guys know I love his podcast. And I will rep it to the day I die. But he was talking about Asuka and Charlotte lately have just been getting absolutely beaten down and squeaking out of their matches with wins. I don't think this is a good look for either one of them. I fully agree with him. I don't think this is a good look going into Mania. And the part that I don't think is a good look about it is you should want the people in your title runs to look the most dominant. I think at this point, as we're 3 weeks out from Mania, Asuka and Charlotte should look extremely dominant. It should literally look like we are on the collision course of the two baddest female wrestlers. Instead, I feel we're on a collision course to two women who are just scraping out of matches. And I'm not trying to take anything away. I know you don't want to take anything from the people they're facing. Like, you don't want to take anything away from Bliss, because obviously she's going to be fighting in a championship match. But with that being said, it should have kind of been a beatdown, because I believe it's going to be a squash match at Mania. between Nia and Alexa. I don't. If anything, I think Alexa's gonna lose the belt at Mania. You should start seeing the cracks in there now. Like with tonight, you should have seen total destruction by Asuka. Instead, we seen Bliss having the upper hand the whole entire match. Asuka once again pulling it out the end with an ankle lock. It's frustrating, guys. Like, this is the part that gets so damn frustrating. It's almost as if they're not thinking with this booking going into Mania, your biggest show of the year, and you're still just playing it by ear. And instead of these two amazing women, Charlotte and Asuka, looking absolutely dominant as they're going into Mania, because that is going to be your main event for the women, is going to be that match. Instead of doing that, you're barely having these women squeak by. What are you really setting up for Mania? That maybe they're not the two best in the world? We're not on to the Ronda hype train, so let's get with these two first, make it like they are the two best women in the world, and not have us have any questions going into Mania that that's what we should see. You're messing up the booking. Correct it. Correct it quick. This is ridiculous. And to whoever online, I read your tweet, I forgot, I'm going to have to look it up, but whoever said Bliss looked really strong tonight, silence. All right. Once again, guys, it's just the little things like that. Lately, JD's been stressing detail. As he's been stressing this, it's been peeping my eye a little bit more. I definitely have my friends that I watch wrestling with. Crazily enough, they're really not into the game, into the wrestling vibe. So it's fun watching with them, teaching them, telling them storylines, explaining everything, and then seeing them send me little tweets, texts, Facebook posts like, hey, check this out. Like, oh, that's cool, man. So, I mean, that's extremely fun. And when you're explaining booking to them, and they're seeing that it's even week, got some issues going on. Once again, we cut to commercial break, come back, Alexa's mad, she's in the back, she finds Kurt. She thinks, she says that Nia should be arrested. Obviously, Kurt doesn't want to see any more arrests for the evening, so he says he's got an idea. For everything Nia's done, the way that Alexa talked about Nia last week, he's going to give Nia a shot at the title at Mania. Figured it was coming. It's finally set up. Now we have both championships for the women's title on SmackDown and Raw. Obviously, I think the SmackDown, I know you guys would agree with me, because that's why you guys watch this podcast. The SmackDown title is the more prestigious at this moment. Raw, you got to do what you got to do. We'll talk about that match as we break it down, as we continue to move a little closer. This is when the show picked up just a little bit for me. Braun comes down to the ring. You know, I'm on this Braun train right now. This man's doing some stuff. I even like hearing him on the mic. He's fun on the mic. So he comes down, talks about obviously that he won a tag royal last week. He was told he has to have a partner. He doesn't feel he needs a partner and that he could beat the Bar by himself. Obviously, the Bar comes down at this point, does their little spiel. At one point, Sheamus is talking about how tag team partners need to do everything. Or sorry, Cesaro is talking about how tag team partners need to do everything together, including sleep together. Got a little rise cheap laugh out of the crowd. I mean, I chuckled even a little bit myself. Braun goes ahead and lets him know he will have a partner at Mania, and not to worry about that because Kurt Angle has allowed him to face one of the Bar tonight. Little funny, Sheamus and Cesaro go up to the ring. They're like 1, 2, 3, both going to go in. Sheamus spins around and just comes right back out. Cesaro goes in, so obviously Cesaro is the one facing Braun. It was a beatdown, guys. Cesaro got a few moves in, but all in all, it was just an absolute beatdown. It was fun to see. I enjoyed it. Braun wins with the power slam, 1, 2, 3. Like I said, it was just a quick beatdown. I'm excited to see this match at Mania, to see who Braun's gonna tag with. My buddy asked me tonight. I actually think it's it's going to be Elias. I'm not the only person. JD from NY, I mean, multiple sources I've heard think it's going to be Elias. What a great pairing I think that would be. And you can actually do some pretty cool things with these two. So we'll definitely have to wait to see on that. But I'm excited to see where the storyline's going with that. Let's just see, do they book this correctly? Or do they just waste our time? As of right now, the WWE is making some correct moves. They're just not booking these moves correctly. And the shitty thing is, at this point, it kind of feels like our word means nothing in the WWE universe. We wanted Shinsuke and AJ as our main event in Mania. We got Shinsuke, and it's like we had to compromise for what Vince wants. And I get it's Vince company. But and I'm those people who's like, oh no, I pay your bills, this, that, and the other. I don't pay your bills. If anything, I pay not even a percentage point of what you make to your company. But with that being said, we're trying to help you grow your company through our organic interactions with how we feel about these wrestlers, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, or just you need to get out the business. When you have something like you have right now, where Braun is super over, Elias is super over, we've already seen them in the match together. I think they would have great chemistry as a tag team. I'm watching JD from NY206 this weekend, and he mentions that he thinks it's going to remind us of the Team Hell Yes with Kane and Daniel Bryan. For me, I was thinking about this, and originally I was thinking it might be like a Kane Rey Mysterio, but we really don't have that good guy like that. I think this would be more of, because you have to figure, I mean, technically, yes, Braun is over. We love him, but he still has the image of a heel, and so does Elias. So for me, I think this will remind me more of, honestly, I think this might be something like the Rock and Sock connection. Oh, man. The Rock and Sock connection. That was some fun times, guys. Back to our show review. So at this point, we have a kick-ass promo from Matt Hardy at the compound. Mr. Awoken himself. Guys, eventually we're going to get to the point where I can play these promos so you can hear them and I don't have to talk about them. But at this point, I don't want to ruin this one. So go look at Matt's promos from tonight. I think they were fantastic. I really enjoyed them. I still think TNA, they still think they did it better with TNA, but I think they did a good job on the promo portions. As far as the absolute deletion, we'll talk about that as we get there. At this point, this match just happened. This match just came together. There was no entrance for this. Titus Worldwide versus the Revival. I looked away, looked back at the TV. Next thing I know, these two are in the ring. Very predictable, waste of time match. I understand. You got to get a little filler in this, but was this the filler you really needed to put on the show tonight? This was an absolute waste. Nothing new. Apollo, once he gets the tag, obviously, they beat the crap out of him. Revival win, 1, 2, 3. Revival say they're going to take a page from Braun. Since Braun won the Battle Royal, dipped his toes in their water and won the Battle Royal, they're going to dip their toes in his water and become the first tag team to win the Andre Battle Royal. Is anybody honestly excited for this? If you are, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Do you think the Revival will win it as a tag team? Let me know in the comments. For me, I have no excitement. This will be on the pre-show. It's kind of a joke. This isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, if you win, you know how you used to win the King of the Ring back in the day and you know you were going to have a good push. This isn't like that at all. This would be the exact opposite. This is almost stalls out your career for a while. I mean, look, even Baron Corbin didn't start getting re-pushed until about a year after he won the Andre Battle Royal. Braun went in and came out just dominating all the way through. So, I mean, there's nothing you can change there. But I don't know. It's just a wasted segment. Don't even understand why we do the Andre Battle Royal. Yo, and rest in peace, Andre the Giant. This has nothing to do with that man. I just feel they're using that man's great name to have some crappy event that people don't even tune into anyways. Why don't you give him a heavyweight tournament? Why don't we have a heavyweight tournament of just pure heavyweights, people 250 plus, and we call it the Andre Battle Tournament Memorial or something along those lines? That would be more exciting than a Battle Royal. Come on. Anybody who knows, most of the wrestlers in a Battle Royal ain't doing anything anyways. So, once again, man, what happened to Revival? These boys were amazing in NXT. Coming out of NXT, had the push. We get the injury. Comes back from injury. And since then, I mean, it's been absolutely dead. It's a no-go. I mean, you've got to restart, refresh, get over to the other brand, anything. Just let's get some change for the Revival, because right now you're just wasting talent. These guys are some of the best tag team technicians in the game, no ifs, ands, buts. Let's see them with some real good competition, because let's be honest anyways, the tag team division in Raw is a joke. That's why we have Braun and whoever the heck he comes up with going against them, going against the Bar at Mania. Before we go to commercial, or when we come back from commercial break, at this point, we learn who our next inductee into the Hall of Fame is going to be. It's going to be Mark Henry. This is one I have absolutely no problem with. Love Mark Henry. I actually remember when Mark Henry first started his career, coming fresh off the Olympics, being the world's strongest man. He just had that, you know, all-American boy persona and feel about him. I don't know. It was different. I really wasn't interested when he first came in. Then he did the little car lifting event. That was exciting. The Nation of Domination is when I started getting interested in Mark. Can't say I was a huge fan, but I was definitely getting that way. When I became a huge Mark Henry fan is when he did the House of Pain. Phenomenal. I'm so happy he won the title out of that. I think they did such a good job at making him super ultra dominant. I mean, absolutely amazing. To anybody who's never seen Mark Henry or just needs a refresher, hey, just go back and watch some of his greatness. I would definitely recommend going back, watching his whole career, obviously, but absolutely the portion for the House of Pain. Hall of Pain. Phenomenal. Check that out, guys. So good. Then, at this point in the show, we get something that I think should be higher on the women's priority. We have the Sasha Banks Bayley friendship just deteriorating in front of our eyes. And instead of making this a key focus with two of the best women performers in the game, well, the company, not only the company, the game, it's frustrating. Because we know what these women can do. They put on one of the most amazing matches, period, ever when they were in NXT. Imagine what these ladies would do on the big time at the biggest show of the year. Amazing work. I promise you this would be so good. But instead, it's getting wasted. And I'm listening to JD while I'm at work today, and he says they may not even have a spot at Mania for that match. If they don't have a spot at Mania that match, you are absolutely wasting everything. You want women who are going to strive to continue to carry the company the way it's going. And yes, them women have already started, but them women deserve the spotlight. I like what Charlotte does in the ring. Like Jay says, she's a robot outside of the ring, but inside the ring, she does some great work. Sloppy at times, but who's not? With that being said, I would probably rather see Sasha be champ over on SmackDown over Charlotte. Now, don't get me wrong. I want the Charlotte-Asuka matchup. I don't want that changed at all. It's just on Raw, This should be the headliner over Alexa and Nia. There's no way in hell. And I absolutely love Alexa. You guys know I love the heel persona. She's gorgeous. I like the work she does in the ring. But with that being said, the character is just, she is in a stagnant stage. She is not going anywhere as a character. Okay? She's not bringing any excitement to these matches. I don't like what they're doing with the whole Nia gimmick. I think Sasha and Bayley would be the perfect match for these ladies, for the Raw show at Mania. There wouldn't be anything better. I think that match right there would have an opportunity to steal match of this, not only match of the night, match of the year. And that's not just for the women. I mean match of the year in general. But with that being said, we have a tag match. It's Sasha and Bayley versus Absolution. Only one real part. One point of this match I want to give credit to Absolution. Yeah, you guys know how about Sasha and Bayley. Actually, what I seen from Bayley tonight was really good. She stopped with the hugging and caring, and she was just focused Bayley. And I love focused Bayley. That woman looked so good tonight. Absolution, you had one moment that I enjoyed. DeVille, Irish whips. Bayley, Rose does a flying knee to her face. That impact looked pretty vicious, guys. I mean, that was excellently done. Outside of that, this match really didn't catch me. I mean, and then at the end, it ends like we figure. So Sasha is beating down Mandy Rose over in the corner while she's beating her down. She's interfering from the ref, making the count for Bayley. So Bayley gets up, pulls her. What are you doing? They're arguing. DeVille comes up from behind. And at first they do this little double team elbow to Rose as she's trying to attack him. That was cool. Then DeVille runs up from behind, hits Bayley into Sasha. Sasha rolls out the ring. Head kick to Bayley. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Absolution gets the win. I mean, all in all, guys, it was kind of comical. I don't even think, I would have just rather seen more talking from Sasha and Bayley than what we actually got tonight with the match. But I understand, you got to get them on the card, so I guess just do what you do. At this point, we go to commercial, we come back. We didn't do a Raw review last week, and I'm glad I didn't. The very first night I heard that Cena promo, I didn't like it. And looking back on it the next day, the reason I didn't like it is I think they ruined the booking. I don't like the fact that you just stop depressed Cena and then he starts challenging the Taker. Yes, the promo was fire. Okay, the promo was fire. That's not my problem. The booking is my problem. The depressed Cena had me so interested. Even though I knew he was going to be at Mania, but him just moping, I would have liked to see him mope for a little bit. A week, 2. You don't have to keep it forever. We know his slogan, never give up. We understand all this. But keep with depressed Cena, like, I have no way to Mania. Have him come out there that following last Monday and just reinstate the fact that, hey, he can't get a match with the Taker. He can't get all this. Like, what is he going to do? Well, guys, I'll see you as a fan. And then he leaves. But instead of doing that, we get John Cena drop his promo. You guys haven't heard it. Go back and listen to it. Calling out the Taker, calling him everything. The thing, I'm getting frustrated the whole time during last week's promo. Because some of the comments he's saying, I feel he's saying to himself. Which, yes, he's attacking the Taker in real life, which we all know. That makes some of the best. That's some of the best shoots we can get. But, best works we can get. But, with that being said, for me, I didn't like it. I wanted the depressed Cena. As I said before, I really wanted that depressed Cena. We didn't get that, so yeah. I'm glad I didn't review last week. I would have came on here and said that it was a bad promo. When realistically, I went back and listened to it. It was really fire. I just don't like the way the booking was done. Cena comes out here. We get more of the same, calling out the Taker tonight. Once again, I think tonight would have been perfect for us to lose the depressed John. We'd had John depressed last week. We come into this week. You could have even done the amped up John and done the promo from last week, this week, and then this week's next week. That would have been fire. But give me longer than 24 hours to see John Cena depressed and helpless. What is he going to do? Instead, you had something going so good and you let it go. And not only that, the realism of it would be more impactful. Nobody in life just falls and seconds later picks themselves back up. When you fall in life, you have to reestablish that game plan and refocus and reattack. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take you a long time, but you're going to hit a moment where you go through a little sulkiness. Let me see that from John. Okay? After he lost that fast lane, let me see him come out. So, I won't see you guys. It looks like I'll be there as an guys. I tried. Walk away. Then we have Cena come back out this week. No, guys, I ain't giving up yet. You know how we go. Never give up. Then he could have given a speech of how he's sitting at home, felt sorry for himself, kicked himself back in the butt, said, we got to do this, and here we are recalling out the Taker. As far as for the match, yes, Cena has me hyped to want to see it. Do I have high expectations? No, not even for a second. You know why? This match is about 4 years too late. I hope the Taker comes in at the top of his game. And in no way am I trying to say I am in better shape. The Taker would murder me in 2 seconds. In the ring, outside the ring, in a fight, anywhere. This dude would murder me. What I am trying to say is, if you remember back to last year's Mania and the year before, what did he look like? He looked like a man that should no longer be in the sport. I'm not one of those guys who's, oh, you should stay around forever. Like Ric Flair should not stay around forever. Hulk Hogan should not stay around forever. Sting, and I love Sting. I love Sting more than I love Hogan. Him and Flair are pretty close. Well, obviously, I was a WCW guy back in the day, but I mean, with that being said, for me, Sting is just, I wouldn't want to see him wrestle at this point. There's just a point when you shouldn't do it anymore. And Taker, the other thing to me is too, I don't want to see Taker take back-to-back losses. If you just make Taker lose 3 times within the last 10 years, I will lose my mind, man. You would have killed everything that the Taker gave meaning to Mania in that streak within that time span. Because my honest to God feeling is they're going to let Cena win. And I seen one of the people I follow on Twitter, they posted something hilarious. That when somebody had mentioned to them that Taker was handing over the keys to Cena, and then in one of the comments was like, yeah, the retirement keys? That's how I feel. Like, that's hilarious. That's a comical statement to even make. Like, whoever you were, you should shame yourself and poo-poo and say bye-bye. But why, Cena, if let's just see the Taker go out on top. I'll talk about that more as we go a little further and start breaking things down. But with that being said, when we get this match, I want to see the Taker win. I want to see the Taker go out on top. I don't want to see what we've seen last year. And as far as him coming out as American Badass, that was my least favorite version. That was my least favorite Taker. But I mean, it's cool, man. It's that nostalgia moment. So even though it's not the Taker, it's the American Badass. Still looking forward to seeing that. But thank you, Cena. I can't believe I just said that. If you guys listen to the show, you guys know how I feel about Cena. But I am actually saying thank you. Thank you, Cena, for dropping that fire promo and getting me interested and invested in wanting to see you and the Taker. So I'm really excited to see how this plays out, guys. At this point, Cena's out there doing his thing, calling out the Taker. Kane's music goes off, very predictable moment. Kane comes down to the ring. Kane chokeslams. Nick confronts him. He's like, "Oh, so is that a yes from the Taker or a no? Like, where's your brother?" He gets chokeslam. Kane leaves. Very predictable moment. As soon as you seen Kane was coming down, this segment did nothing for me at all because really Cena already built it up all last week. This was just to get Cena in a match next week against Kane. I think that's when we will have the Taker revealed, at least with something on the Titantron. Because obviously you're going to have to build. I mean, next week we're going to have 2 weeks before the show. So you either show the Taker then, or maybe we're really not getting this match. Then at this point we have the Miz Taraj versus the Balor Club. Balor Club kicks some ass. They get the dub. This is just a joke. Like, why are we watching this? Why is the Miz still Intercontinental Champ? Let's get the strap off him. I don't care who wins it. I'd like to see Finn with it. Preferably, I'd rather Balor. I want to see Balor with it. I think Balor would do more with it. I think Seth's just destined for greater things right now in the immediate future. But I mean, honestly, let's just get the title out of the Miz's hands. It's old. It's over. Like, his run, and I'm not taking anything away from him personally, just the way it's been booked, it's just been crap. In every match we just see heels winning with cheat tactics with some kind of mistrash. It's okay for a heel to win normally because that shows that, hey, look, I did need them and I could do it without them. It's okay to have those things. We haven't just had every heel in history use just heel tactics of interference from his outside guys. We just went through this with Jinder. Now we're still going through it with Miz's championship run. It's just time to get this title off Miz's hands. The Miz Taraj beats down the Balor Club. Seth Rollins comes out, saves the day. End of this segment. I won't even lie. I did not watch any of the Ronda story. Do not care. I know Ronda's story. I've seen it a million times. If you've ever seen the UFC build up, they'll to give you backstory on them. Not only them, I'm a huge UFC Ronda fighting fan. Do I think she's the most dominant woman ever? No. Do I think she changed the name of sports for women in the UFC? Absolutely, 1,000,000,000%. Dana literally said if she didn't sign her, there would probably not be even women fighters. And let's just look at where this women's division is now in the UFC. But we're not here to talk UFC. We're here. I didn't watch any of this. I was on a little delay. Thank God at this portion. I fast forward, got some dinner ready. Hey, best of luck to her in her match at WrestleMania. I don't think her first match should be at Mania. Let alone do I want to see Stephanie wrestle in a match. I don't even want to see Kurt and Triple H. I could live without all 4 of them in this match. But it's going to be on. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. I won't lie. I will be watching Ronda with a keen eye. Not to see if she's perfect. I understand she greener than grass right now. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if the talent is there. You can tell just watching, regardless of how green somebody is, you can see if the talent's going to be there or not. Now, it might not always pan out as you think, but you can see if it's there or not. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. But as far as for the Ronda story tonight, I didn't watch. I don't want to stop you guys from watching. If you guys do want to watch it, I'm pretty sure you can probably catch it on WWE Network, or just go onto YouTube, look up Ronda Rousey story WWE, and I'm sure it'll populate for you. Go ahead and give that a watch. We finally get to our main event of the evening. The reason probably everybody tuned into Raw tonight in the first place, other than Roman fanboys. And hey, Roman fanboys, how to seeing your boy get beat down. Finally, we got to see it, but we know where that's playing up to. But I don't want to waste time going back to that nonsense when we got more nonsense to talk about. Our main event of the evening tonight is the final deletion. my very first thoughts on this segment. I enjoyed it. Could I have enjoyed it more? Yes. I think there are different tactics they didn't use tonight that they used on the previous. So, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to it. For starters, I love Bray walking up to the compound gates, being met by Vanguard 1. Out of Vanguard 1 pops Matt's hologram. And, he tells Bray to follow the music. Bray follows the music. We get in the ring. The in-ring work was pretty cool. I thought the what are they called? The fireworks. I forget what they're normally called. I'm brain farting right now. But I thought the fireworks were a little hilarious. I mean, a funny distraction. It could have been played a little quicker, but I was chuckling during this part. This is when it kind of digressed momentarily for me pretty big. They get out of the ring. They're moving along, and the camera cuts to black. What I remember about when they did it over in TNA is they had the black, the night vision on, and that's also what added that extra effect to it, was the night vision. So I think that was a huge part that's missing tonight. When they get over, they get to a building. Matt looks at Bray. He's like, Bray, do you realize where you are? And then Bray looks. It's the compound. Well, it's a replica of the compound. Bray starts having these crazy flashbacks while he's in this nostalgia flashback moment. Matt attacks him from the back. He proceeds to have another little momentary flashback moment. We move on from here. He brings in Mower of Lawns. Oh man, I love the names that he just gives to everything. I mean, it's absolutely funny. But this is when it kind of started feeling rushed to me. I think they just combined all this way too fast. It was here instead of spread. I think this is something, as you've noticed through the lineup tonight, as we've been going through the review, there's a few matches I've mentioned I don't think need to be on here, like the Titus Worldwide versus the Revival. I don't think the Miz, Challange, and Balor should have been on here. I think this extra time should have actually been used specifically for this match. I think if you give it more time, more spread out, it would have been phenomenal. What you did give us was good, a little above average, but I'd like to see more later with improvements added and more time. But we end up having a weird little segment. Now, obviously, you know we're going to get to the lake of, what is the word? Lake of Reincarnation. So as we get towards the Lake of Reincarnation, Matt goes to hide under the boat. He flips over the boat. Sorry, I forget what the boat's name is. And there's Mr. Rodriguez, Sir Rodriguez. And Sir Rodriguez rolls over. And then Bray's getting these images, and Brother Nero flashes in and talks to him for a second. I was hyped. I'm like, Brother Nero. That was fun. Bray goes... At this point, Bray catches a twist of fate. 1, 2, 3. Hardy the winner. Delete, delete, delete. Bray ends up in the Lake of Reincarnation. Mr. Rodriguez goes to fish him out. The body's not there. As always, Matt with glowing fashion. Excuse me. Mentions delightful and starts screaming delete. And Vanguard shows us a little image as he backs out, and that's how our show ended tonight, guys. So, I mean, overall, it was a show. Okay? I don't know, maybe you want to give it a watch back. Just tell me what you think. Like you guys know, I always love comments down south. That's the fun part. But with that being said, we'll address this a little later in the week when we come back with the lead up to where we are now as we build towards Mania. But for now, guys, we're just going to leave it at that. So without further ado, just want you guys to know, go ahead and kick ass, take names, and peace.